Hey friends and family, welcome to Marcie Creates. This is Marcie, and as you can see, we have a beautiful palette that we're going to play with today. This is the May Color Palette Challenge that I posted in the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Facebook group Marcie Creates, we'd love to have you. I have already seen some beautiful projects that people have been working on, and I wanted to give a shout out to Kim Bantle because she actually let me know, and I didn't have my bargain bead box yet, but she kind of let me know that the colors in the bargain bead box for this month are very uh, co- um, coordinating with this color palette. So later on in the week I will be doing a little combo project where I will be using the bargain bead box and also just maybe pick some things that I have out here. As you can see, I had a lot of fun pulling things. So this is the palette. Um, for those of you that did not see it on the Facebook group. And of course, we've got gorgeous greens, 3 different shades, and a fuchsia and a pretty pink. Very fresh, very springy, and I just really love this color combination. And just in a color theory setting, red and green are opposites on the color wheel. So this fuchsia and pink, which are, shades of red, tones of red, go great with green. So this is a nice example of using a complementary color scheme that's not just red and green. You can use many variations of the colors. And as you can see with the different, we've got a light green, a dark green, and a medium green. You've got a lot of depth here, as well as this nice dark fuchsia in the pink. So altogether, it's a really beautiful palette. So let's talk a little bit about some. I went a little wild going through my stash. Of course, I'm not going to be using everything this evening, but I did find some really pretty tassels that I want to play with. And I found this silver silk. I think this was one of Nile's pop-up shop colors. It's kind of a green with a navy uh, knit cover, and it's the pipe chain, so it's got that hole in the middle. So I may use this in something. We're not going to use this tonight, but I just wanted to show it to you. And then I picked gold. I just felt like gold would be really pretty with this color palette. I think silver would look great too. But I had a lot of gold that I wanted to play with. These are pieces that I got from an Etsy shop called AZ Supplies, and I believe that they're in Turkey. And I just love their pieces. I will put their Etsy shop in my description in case you want to take a look. I do want to do a feature video of some of the things that I bought from them. I think their prices are very reasonable. They've got really beautiful things, and everything is packaged really nicely. So I pulled quite a few things for my stash that I bought from them. And this is I'm just getting ready to do like a whole set of things. These are some drops that came from a Jesse James beads mix I thought would be pretty in some earrings. And then, of course, we've got a lot of other gold. I've got a little bee charm here that's really pretty. And these thistle charms, these are Tiara cast charms. So I had a lot of fun, as you can tell. And then I have these look like jade, but they're not. But I found some little pieces that I had in my stash. I may have bought these on Amazon, actually. So I've got those, and then these really pretty shell beads I've had for a long time. I think I bought these at Hobby Lobby or Michael's at one point. Anyway, as you can see, I went a little wild. I like to have choices, Choices are great, especially for us jewelry designers. But I thought for today, I have not done a bracelet in a really long time, and I wanted to do a bracelet, and I wanted to use this really fun clasp. It's a 2-strand clasp, and it just slides. It's a nice slide clasp. It has a little piece that pops up here so that when you push it in, it clicks into place. It's a nice secure clasp for a bracelet, and I like that it has 2 loops because you can do a um, more than one strand, of course. So we're going to use this clasp, and I have SoftFlex fluorite color I thought would be really pretty with these beads, so we're going to use the fluorite. And let's see what else. I've got some seed beads here, bead caps, some gold bicones. Let's see what else. Some rondelles with the rhinestones in them. I love those. And just some really pretty melon beads. I think these all came from Bargain Bead Box, so it's kind of funny that the May Bargain Bead Box. This isn't from the Bargain Bead Box this month, by the way. That's going to be a future video. But I did buy these on their shop at one point, and I think I got these there as well. These really pretty pressed check glass beads. Then I found some little elephants that came from a Jesse James Beads mix, along with this really pretty flower, kind of rose pendant, kind of focal bead. So, oh, and here's some lampwork beads I found with the little bumpy, perfect color combination. I was surprised I had this many things. Um, some beautiful rondelles, and these have when the light hits it, there's little touches of fuchsia in there, so a lot of fun. So I thought we'd do a 2-strand bracelet, and I am going to kind of clean up a little bit and remove some of the things that we are not going to be working with, just so I can zoom in a little more so you can see what I'm doing, and we will get started on our bracelet. Okay, so I've kind of thinned the herd a little bit so that we have room in here to work on our strands. Let me grab a couple of these. I forgot to grab those. Okay, so what I did is I measured my wrist, and I have this piece of wire that I cut to the length. My wrist is around 7¼ inches around, and this clasp is about 1/4 of an inch or so. So I bent the end of the 7¼ to accommodate for the clasp, because this is the only spot between here and here that we want to add beads so that we can allow for the clasp. So that's why this is bent right here. So whatever clasp you're using, I literally just took a tape measure. I measured around my wrist. Uh-oh, what happened to my light? Hang on, guys. It's always something. Ruh-roh. Hang on. I don't know what happened. Oh, my goodness. Okay, little diversion. I hope that this is better. I thought one of my lights went out. It didn't. This looks like it's bright enough to me. It's hard to tell until I actually upload the video, so I hope that this is not going to be a problem for people to see, but I gotta work on lighting again. Seems like every time I try something, it's just not bright enough, and I have multiple lights on this, but it's still, let me move this over. Sorry, guys. I just want you to see all the beautiful colors. Okay, so as I was saying, I measured my wrist with I have a tape measure, and my wrist was 7¼ so I cut my wire to 7¼ but then what I did is I measured the width of this clasp. So whatever clasp you're going to use, measure the width, and then I just measured on the wire the spot that closely corresponded with that measurement, and then I just bent that piece up so that when I lay out my beads, I know I just have from here to here. I hope that makes sense. I thought it might be easier visually than me trying it on while I'm stringing and things like that, because that can get fiddly on the video. So anyway, and this will be nice because we can lay out our strands before we actually um, string them. So, oh, I also have these beautiful number 6 seed beads that I may use. These are from Aunties Beads. I'll put their link, auntiesbeads.com. This is 660 seed beads, and the color is matte opalescent sea foam luster Miyuki. Really, really pretty. So we may use a few of these as spacers. Let me get my SoftFlex ready. I am going to make the SoftFlex a little bit longer so that I have room to make loops. Because remember, the wire is just a guide. Just a guide. Okay. And this SoftFlex, if I didn't mention, is the fluorite color. Medium beading wire. Some of these beads are a little transparent, so I thought it'd be pretty in between where the translucent beads. All right, so I thought I would do 2 different patterns for the bracelet on the 2 strands. Oh, these also, by the way, come in 3 strands, 4 strands, I think even 6 strands. So it's just called a barrel clasp, I believe is what it's called. And they're real nice for bracelets. All right, so let's get started. So I am going to, I think I'm going to put one of these beads. These are really cool. I don't know where I got these, but they have a little subtle bit of the fuchsia in there, which I thought was wild. Because I don't pick my beads out before I pick the palette, so it looks like I knew what I was doing. That's always great when you look like you know what you're doing. uh, so maybe we'll do some gold on either side and some pink. And these, I just love these with the pink and the green, the fuchsia and the green. Oh, I have some spacers here that might be nice. And maybe we'll do these little luster round beads I also got from Bargain Bead Box at one point. Oh, I definitely want some of these. These rondelles are so pretty. So I'm just going to lay this out. I think we're getting close to. So one of the things I like to do when I'm trying to do an exact measurement, I'll get all the big beads in there. And then if I need to fill in, I can fill in with some spacer beads like these guys. Maybe we'll put one there and one there. I'm going to flip this over for just a second. Maybe we'll do a couple of bead caps. These lacy ones are really pretty. Oops. All right, so we'll string that first. And then if I need to fill it, well, let's see. So these, one of the things I always forget is the spacer beads are pretty narrow. And there's no way to really stand them up, but you could actually string these on. Let's do that. You could string these on here. I think this is 18 gauge, so I don't know if all the beads are going to fit on here. Let's see. That's a better idea. Oh yeah, see that hole is too little. That's all right. I could use a smaller gauge. If you want to do this and you want to string it, actually, just make sure your beads fit on the piece of wire. This is 18 gauge. I probably should have done like 20 and then they would all fit, but I'm not going to fret too much about it. All right, so let's grab our first piece of SoftFlex. We're going to measure this up against that wire again. I am just going to string all these. I really should use a bead stopper, although I don't know what I did with my bead stoppers. So use a bead stopper, or you could use a stop bead if you would like. I'm going rogue. Maybe I'll just do this. That'll be quicker. So my thought is if I need to add more beads, I can add them on the ends. You do it however you're comfortable, though. Everybody's got their own way of doing things, and I don't really feel like there's a right or wrong way. It's just what works for you. There's been a lot of nasty storms lately. I hope everybody's safe. You know what? I'm going to add some sparkle. Hope everybody's safe. It's just a crazy time of year, isn't it? I don't like to hear of, I don't like tornado, the stuff. Of course, I don't know anybody that does, except for maybe a storm chaser or here and there. All right. We're going to check our length here in just a second. This is a nice quick way to do this too, because you already have it pre-measured. So you can just concentrate on the pattern you want to do and the colors and the beads and, you know, all the fun stuff. If you saw my last video, you could see my little fake nails came off. They didn't last, but they're kind of fun for, you know, maybe holiday time or going out. Okay, so we still have room for a few more beads. So I think I want to taper on the ends. So let's put oops, a little bicone on the end there. Let's see how our length is. We can add some more. Maybe we do one more of these. Oh, I know. Another one of those. I think these are 6mm. 6 or 4. Okay, so we want to stop here. So we're going to attach this to the barrel clasp. And I keep it closed because I just feel like it's easier. And so what we're going to do, we're going to put our crimp beads on each end, get those ready. I need to grab my crimper. And again, the nice thing about using the SoftFlex is it's really pretty. And if it's showing, it just adds to the design. All right, so we're going to do this lower, we're going to attach to the lower holes of the clasp first. So just like that. You don't want to make it really tight because you want some play. Otherwise, your bracelet will be too stiff and you won't enjoy wearing it. All right. Let me cut that little end piece. Okay. Now we're going to attach. So we've attached here. We're going to attach there. That's going to be our first strand. Thank you for all the nice comments, by the way, on the last video. I really appreciate it. And who knew that my hands looked smaller? You could tell I've lost weight from my hands. That blew my mind. But how cool! And for those of you that are new, I had weight loss surgery about 6 weeks ago. Can't believe it's been 6 weeks. Went by fast, and things are really getting loose. I have a whole pile of clothes going to charity because I'm not looking back. I'm not gonna get that heavy again. I'm feeling a lot better. Today I had to have blood work, and little things are easier, like fastening the seatbelt in the car. It was a breeze this morning, and I couldn't. Here we go again. I couldn't believe it. All right, so here's strand 1. I think that's really pretty. So let's work on strand 2 and we'll attach it. So again, I'm going to put my wire down. And I think this time I want to put this in the middle. And I love these leaf beads. Very springy. And I noticed, I think these are a check bead cap. They fit perfectly. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So we're gonna use those. And I think they'd be really pretty in the some earrings too. So we'll do that. I wish I knew what these were called. I guess maybe they're just called check bead caps, but yeah, I really like them. Here are some really cool looking cubes, but they're on the diagonal, so they're gonna sit like that, which I think is kind of fun. And I love these iridescent rondelles. And let's do some bicones. Oh, let's do some of those guys, and then melon beads. A couple of these guys. Maybe we'll do 3 on the end here of these. So I may have to add some on the ends, but I like that. So let's get our second piece of SoftFlex. And we're gonna start a stringing. And I love SoftFlex too for bracelets because it's so supple. I don't like hard, like the bangles. A lot of people wear bangles. I cannot wear them. They just aren't comfortable for me. But if I'm using a soft wire like SoftFlex, then it's super comfortable. Also, the beads glide right on, which I absolutely love. Love these leaf beads. I wish I could remember where I got them. I'm so bad about keeping track of that stuff. I'm getting better, but those were purchased eons ago, so All right. Here's what we have so far. Uh-oh. Is there no hole in this? Okay. Oh, here's one. That one was defective. I'm like, okay, am I going blind? Okay, that worried me. That'll have to be a bead weaving cabochon type thing with no holes in it, where I can glue it onto something, maybe. Didn't pass. It passed factory inspection, but it made it to me, with no holes. Oh, things happen, don't they? I am loving these little bead cap looking. I love that. All right. Little bicone action. Trying to make sure I'm going in order. Usually, I'm doing asymmetrical and I don't really have to think about stuff balancing, but yeah, got to do that this time, don't I? Yeah. All right, let's see how we're doing on length. I think we can add more probably. Just a couple more. Oh gosh, let's see. Let's do 2 more of these really fun sparkly bicones. I mean, rondelles. And then we'll attach to our bracelet. Crimp beads on either end. Here's what we have. Let's grab our bracelet. Now we're going to do the top holes next. I'm just going to twist this so I can get to it easier. So now they're on the bottom. And yeah, these are nifty little clasps. I don't really use them much, but now that I'm using it today, I think I'll be using more in the future for bracelets because I just think they're they're nice looking. They don't really detract from your design, and they are easy to take on and off. They don't take up much room, so you've got more room for the beads that you want to use, which is also nice. Okay. And let's attach to our last loop here. I'm also kind of just eyeballing to make sure my loops are about the same size. They're not going to be perfect, but you do want them close to the same size. And if you have a little extra wire, I don't think that's a problem. You can always, I'm going to probably use some crimp covers. You can always add an extra crimp cover and it makes it look like an extra gold bead if you have a lot of slack and you don't like it. That's just a helpful hint. Checking my loops. That one is. I may have to do that on this side, but I'm not too worried about it. It's when you're wearing a bracelet, the beads slide around anyway, so I don't really get too crazy about any slack. I mean, you want the bracelet to be comfortable. So, all right. I will put some crimp covers, I think, just so these don't scratch. Or if you have the magical crimper, you can use that. So let's just take a look. Here's our bracelet. I love the colors so much. And the test. Now, of course, I'm on camera, so I'm probably going to be fighting with this. Hopefully not. But you know how it goes. You're filming, so something's bound to go wrong. I've already had light follies today. There we go. I think I got it. Hello? There we go. Yeah, that turned out nice. And see, there's a little slack, but I really don't mind it. And the SoftFlex color looks great with the beads. So pretty. There is our May palette. Now, I'm of course going to make more things because I pulled out a ton of beads. And I think I'm going to keep this little piece so I know next time I do anything like this, I know exactly what size. So if you decide to do this, just hang on to it, maybe put it in a Ziploc bag and label it so you know why you made that. Because if you're anything like me, you'll look at it and go, now, what was I doing with this? You know, sometimers, I think they call it. But anyway, yeah, so this was a lot of fun. I love these colors. They're so pretty. So later on in the week, I'm going to do a video showing the bargain bead box because the colors they just match so perfectly with our inspiration this month, this beautiful palette. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope that if you've not tried one of these clasps, you will. Of course, go buy SoftFlex. It's great stuff. And I'll be making some more videos this week. So stay tuned for that. And as always, thank you for watching. Take care of your sweet selves and your families and be safe. And I'll see you on the next video.